3 meters away. Now what we do, we press the calibration button. We go to calibration, press calibrate, and then we check once again if it's 3 meters away. It waits a couple of seconds. Now we can test the calibration. Let's get into calibration test and see the distance. How much is the distance now? 3 meters. Okay, now let's move it 2 meters. We check if it's calibrated accurately. How much? It's calculating. Well, it's about 2 meters.
Yes.
And then we just check once again, we check 1 meter. And we are checking what we have on the receiver. Сколько там?
0.99.
Oh, it's 99 centimeters. So we have it calibrated. Now we don't drill in calibration mode. If you do the drilling, you just go to the main menu and enter the location mode. It's the first button that you have after switching on the receiver. So we just turn it on by holding the on button for 1 second. This button, which is highlighted, it's the location menu. This is normal working mode. So soon we are going to see our emitter on the monitor. This is the mode in which we are doing our work. To the left we have the strength of the signal, and to the right we have a distance between the receiver and the emitter. As you can see, the emitter we have here on the floor. Here we have the receiver in our hand. It shows the distance is about 1 meter and 26 centimeters, and the height, depth, is about 90 centimeters, and it shows correctly. Now let's go to the main menu. We navigate with arrows. We switch to the right. This is how you turn it off. We are not going to do it right now. Next is the information about the location system, and this one is the emitter menu and calibration. Now let's get into it. This is where you select your frequency, and now the next one is calibration. Those are the two main options that you're going to use. All the rest is described in the manual. Okay, now let's switch on the monitor. This is the monitor, the operator's display of this navigation system. It works with the receiver, which we have here. It shows the same information that we have in the receiver, so it shows the position of the drilling head, which is underground during the drilling. Now, monitor is very useful tool for the operator, because he can stay inside the excavation while the other person is taking care of the receiver. We switch on the monitor by holding the button. We select the contrast. Check the connection and go into the working mode. And as you can see, you have the same information about the drilling. Here you have inclination 1.8, distance depth 174, and the same information we have here, which means the monitor is working correctly. Now let me explain to you a little bit how we do the drilling. Okay, this is the pilot head. This is the tip of the pilot head. As you can see, it's not straight. It's deviating to the right at the moment. and we can see on the monitor that it's also deviating to the right, which means we are going to turn right. Now if you want to turn left, you just spin it a little bit with the machine spinning device, and it's starting to show left. Normally you spin only to the right direction to avoid unscrewing the rods. So your normal way of working is to push the rods forward and spin them all the time, spin them a little bit, and you are going to drill relatively straight, spirally but straight. Now if you are drilling too deep, you rotate the rod, you look at the watch, you look at the clock, and if it shows 12 o'clock, which means your drilling is going to go up. So if you are too deep, spin the rods until you reach 12 o'clock and push them. Push them without spinning, you are going to get bigger inclination. This number is going to change, 13%. Now it will be like 26%. It's still calculating, 22%. And if you are drilling too shallow, you want to go deeper, you just spin them a little bit to the right until the clock shows 6. If it shows 6, then it means the rods were going to go deeper because of the way they are cut, the pilot head is cut. So you just adjust the tip, the monitor is for you to know in which direction the tip of the pilot head is pointing. Normally you have to plan a little bit ahead because you need to push 1 or 2 rods to change the direction significantly. So when your tip is pointing to the left, you have to be aware that after you push 2 or 3 rods, then you are going to see the actual movement. So if you push 1 or 2 rods, then you have to start spinning again, not to turn too far to the left. And it all comes with experience, of course. Now here in the monitor we have a battery compartment. This is for the batteries or accumulators. The same what we have here is in the receiver. We also have battery compartment here in the lower part. Okay, I will now explain to you a little bit what is drilling to target. Now what we do if we want to do this drilling to target, we put the receiver in front. We put the receiver in front, like a couple of meters ahead, like 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 meters ahead of the drilling rod. And when we look at the monitor over here, you have this number in a black background. It's calculating how deep you are going to arrive if you continue drilling with this inclination. If we change inclination, the depth will be recalculated. Now it shows 30, now it shows 22, and if we put it upstairs even more, it will show. So once again, you can see we're spinning the pilot head, and the monitor shows updated information on the direction of drilling, inclination, temperature, calculated depth where we're going to arrive, actual depth, how deep we have our pilot head underground. It's the relative depth between the pilot head and the receiver, and how many meters we have between the receiver and the pilot head horizontally.